pedigree, on tools that the fighters have shown so far, I'd have to say that Joshua would beat Daniel Dubois.
What we've seen so far.
He'll knock him over. He'll knock him over. If he catches him, he'll knock him over.
With the much-anticipated fight between heavyweight elites Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois to take place on the 21st of September, many boxing pros have chosen their winner. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn, the longtime friend and promoter of Anthony Joshua, has recently given an interview where he cleared all the air about how Joshua is not as fragile as many people believe him to be. According to Eddie, it's suspicious that all these speculations about Joshua having a weak chin have surfaced right before his fight against Dubois, and that they are nothing but a tactic to shift AJ's focus from his important fight and to make him insecure about his skills. Eddie stated, AJ has a really good chin. Watch the shots AJ took in the Vladimir Klitschko fight. With the right hand that would have decapitated a normal man, AJ got up from. Even with Andy Ruiz, he kept getting up. Alexander Usyk hit him with the kitchen sink, and he never had him out. Look what happened to Tyson Fury. I never saw AJ like that in that fight. AJ's got a great chin. While addressing all the criticism that AJ seems to get from not only the biggest and most notable boxing pros, but also from all the boxing fans all around the world, Eddie stated that this all comes down to how when someone is better, people tend to get jealous and try their best to bring that person down because they know deep down that they will never be better than him. Eddie then stated how in the start, these types of comments used to have a toll on AJ, but now he is not focusing on anything negative and just strives to become the world champion.
Fortunately, when you do very well in life, you get heavily criticised, there's a huge amount of envy, and you got a lot of miserable that want to try and bring you down. Anyone that has potential has no interest in bringing other people down. You just want to champion other people.
However, Frank Warren, Dubois' promoter, thinks that this criticism of AJ is justified as AJ continuously brags about being the best fighter in his weight division. But he is someone who has never gotten hit properly before, and the times where he has gotten somewhat hit by jabs, he had lost just like his fight with Andy Ruiz and Usyk. Frank also emphasized how this upcoming fight will depend entirely on who has the best jabs and who is completely in control of not only the mind, but also the heart. He stated, I've seen AJ when he's under pressure, and how he looks when he gets under it, and how he reacts. It's going to be a battle of jabs. Who's ever got the jab is the key to this fight. It's the heart, the mind, and the jab is the key to it. If they're two massive big punches, it will not go to distance. This fight will not go to distance. Showing confidence in his boxer, Frank wholeheartedly believes that Dubois will be the one who wins in the end, as he has much better punches as compared to Joshua. Frank even went as far as to issue a knockout warning to Joshua, stating clearly that Daniel will not only win, but he will win with an outstanding knockout, which will cement his position as the top dog in heavyweight division. Frank stated, he'll knock him over. If he catches him, he'll knock him out. Look, he's a young man. He's 26, and I genuinely believe that Daniel has the ability to knock him. Following the drama that took place during their face-to-face interview, where both AJ and Dubois almost got into a fight right then and there have been many comments online questioning the authenticity of this whole debacle. From fans calling it a cheap stunt pulled off by the promoters to increase the hype around the fight to mismanagement by the organizers, there is no stop to this online speculation. Noticing this, Eddie Hearn came forward once again to finally settle the score on how even though things like these end up generating more hype around the fight and ultimately are good for business, this time it was not something that was pre-planned by any of them. According to Eddie, all this happened because of the threats and comments made by Dubois, which irked AJ, resulting in the viral clip of them nearly coming to blows.
And some people say, oh, that was set up. I mean, people are mad. Like, you think I could go up to AJ and go, right, mate, what I want you to say is, like, you just say, fuck off, I'm not doing that. It's when someone puts it on him, like Dubois did, let's fight now, the switch flicks, and you see, and it's not even like, oh, the new AJ, it's just AJ.
Further clarifying what Eddie said, Aid Oladipo, the lead presenter for DAZN Boxing, and also someone who actually conducted the interview, stated how he was aware of the tension between Eddie and Frank, coming right after their eventful clash at the 5v5 matchroom versus Queensberry. But the tension between AJ and Dubois was something that he did not expect, as both of them are men of few words, and have been quite respectful towards one another in the past. He stated, I felt it was simmering. I didn't think it would get to that where, security has to get involved, but we've seen it with these face-offs sometimes they do need to kind of step in, and I almost felt like AJ maybe looked at D like you're a young kid, and Daniel was like, I'm not a young kid. While talking about it being staged or not, Aid emphasized how despite people calling it scripted and done only for the sake of adding more drama to the fight, it was anything but because if the audience saw the remaining interview, they could very clearly see that the tension between Dubois and AJ was brewing from the very start. He added, if they told Dubois to start something, that's going in one ear and out the other, because Dubois is not going to even remember that. So, yeah, certainly certainly not scripted, these two just kind of got on each other's nerves and it kind of boiled up. Despite all these criticisms, AJ and Dubois have now moved on to start their training camps, where according to multiple sources online, both the boxers have taken part in not only extensive workouts, but also there has been footage of them sparring inside the ring to further enhance the skills that they both already possess. AJ, known for his excellent skills and techniques, is a formidable opponent for anyone inside the ring. Aiming to earn himself a third stoppage win against Daniel, while working with his longtime trainer Ben Davidson, Anthony so far looks confident in his abilities. And when you look at the bigger picture, things become even more important for AJ, as the winner of this bout will then go on to face the victor of the USCK versus Fury rematch. With this in mind, Joshua has now set his eyes on Fury to fight him next year to finally settle the score about who is the best heavyweight boxer and the next heavyweight champion of the world. To make this possible for AJ, Turki Alalshik recently sat down with Anthony to discuss his future move in boxing and how if he ends up winning this fight against Dubois, he will most certainly arrange a fight between him and Fury next year. While conducting a FaceTime call, AJ and Fury exchanged some pretty solid threats and warnings while still in the company of His Excellency, which garnered a lot of attention online.
The job in 21 of December, and look who waiting for you.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you.
Go on. I'm done. I'll get the job done.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm waiting for you.
I'm going to get the job done.
Either way, I'm waiting.
Either way, he waiting for you.
With this fight, and now the added hype of a future bout between the winners, fans and pros have a lot to say about the whole thing. Some say about how it would be an easy fight for Anthony, as he is the bigger and more experienced fighter, while others point out the fact that Dubois is much younger and has more power compared to Joshua. Starting with Simon Jordan, a well-known boxing analyst who has recently made some comments about Joshua that have landed him in hot water from AJ's fans. According to a statement given by Simon in an interview, AJ is someone who has come a long way in boxing from losing against Andy and then falling off for some time. Simon added how, like everyone else at that time, he too thought that after a loss like this, AJ would never recover, as he had lost the fighting spirit that he used to have. But miraculously, he proved everyone wrong with one big win after another, especially the one against Ngannou. Simon stated, "I didn't see a pathway back for Anthony Joshua to win a world title again. And I wasn't alone in that, because most people in the orthodoxy felt that the fire had gone out in Anthony's eyes, that he wouldn't go into the dark places that he might have to go into, and put himself in a way of harm, as he once was prepared to do before." Simon further added, "Joshua's redeemed himself, and I was delighted that he put boxing back on the map, the way that Fury didn't do with the Ngannou fight. He got rid of the mixed martial arts guy, as a boxer should do, with no disrespect to Ngannou." However, despite all this praise, Simon still believes that Dubois will be a very hard opponent for Joshua, as he is someone who has tremendous hitting power, something that AJ has not felt for a very long time. According to Simon, if he ends up getting hit too many times by these lethal shots, he can not only take a physical toll from them, but it can also affect him mentally. He said, "Dubois is going to hit him back right. Franklin didn't hit him back. Helenius didn't hit him back. Wallen didn't hit him back. So did Ngannou. I still think there's a possibility with the power that Daniel has, that if he detonates one on Anthony Joshua, he's going to get PTSD. He further added, "He's going to be reminded of the challenges that he's had previously, and it might take him back to a different space, because in despite all the redemption's last 4 fights, Dubois is going to hit him back." Completely agreeing with his fellow pundit, Spencer Oliver, talking in the same interview, also thinks that Anthony has no doubt improved over time, as now he has finally regained the confidence that he was missing for a very long time, and this will most certainly help him in fighting anyone, including Dubois. But on the other hand, Dubois has also improved and can't be ignored, as he is a ferocious fighter who will try his best to put Anthony down.
Now, the self-belief is there, and that was what was missing. Nothing else, just the self-belief. He didn't believe in himself. He wasn't stepping in with his shots. He wasn't putting the punches together. He's now got that confidence, and that makes him a totally different animal. Very, very dangerous. But like I say, Dubois has always got a chance, because he will take a fight straight to him. And if he lands a shot, he's very heavy-handed. Anything.
Just like this interview, there are many more where the pros have come out in support of Dubois in the bout that will take place in September, yet there is still a concern that this will not be as easy as it sounds for Dubois. Looking at the past performance displayed by Daniel, he has earned himself many good victories, especially the ones against Gerald Miller and Hrgovic. But regardless of these, he still has a lot to prove, as he has also lost some major bouts like the one against Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. These mixed records have put Dubois somewhere in the middle, where most people believe believe that he must improve his durability to finally become a boxing legend. Giving his honest opinion about who might win, Dave Coldwell is all for Team AJ, stating that even though Daniel looks confident that he will finish Anthony with a knockout, Anthony is not like any opponent that Daniel has faced in the past, and this cocky demeanor from Daniel might be his downfall.
But Joshua's not just going to throw a 1-2, a basic 1-2. If he starts landing that 1-2, if he's taking an AJ right hand, he's going to come back with that left up. He's going to come back with an uppercut. He's going to come back with another attack, because that's what Anthony Joshua is. He's a very, very good combination puncher. Anything can happen because it's heavyweight boxing, but on pedigree, on tools that the fighters have shown so far, I'd have to say that Joshua would beat Daniel Dubois. So
there you have it.
Moving on, Dave also believes that even though there seems to be bad blood between the fighters, mainly after the whole face-off drama, they still are the most respectful fighters right now in the boxing game. And Dave then added how despite the rivalry, they both respect each other's abilities and look forward to fighting one another. He said, Anthony Joshua can punch. We know that. And Daniel Dubois can punch. And they both know that the other man can punch. They both know that they both have power themselves, but they both know that the other man can punch as well. So they're going to be respectful no matter the buildup, no matter the bad blood. They're going to respect each other as fighters and as warriors. Shane Watson, being a professional boxer himself, thinks that it would be AJ who wins in the end, as there is almost no possibility for someone like Dubois to beat AJ. Explaining his point, Shane stated how Anthony is just too fast for someone like Dubois and has more skills as compared to Dubois, who is more sloppy and has a much weaker defense. He stated, I don't think there's a way in hell that he beats Joshua stylistically. Right now he gets hit by too many right hands, man, and it's one thing getting hit by Hrgovic, but AJ is a bit of another level. It's not even just how, it's a snappiness as well. Like, it's the hand speed. Like, and he's so accurate of his right hand AJ as well. And it's just, I think it's a bit of another level. Alan Babick also thinks that this time the tide is in favor of Anthony, as he is one of the best fighters of our time, with a skill set that no one possesses at this time. Though there was a time when he fell off and had some pretty nasty losses, he still got up and fought again to prove everyone wrong. And with this newfound confidence, he became better than ever.
Guys, but I think I kinda edging towards Joshua because he had his downs, but he came on his up every single time. He ended up on his up, so I really think he's on a huge up right now, and I think he's a very, very dangerous fighter. And I think he's more dangerous puncher in the ball.
Somewhat new to the business part of the boxing community, former professional boxer Izzy Asif is on his way to becoming a big promoter, not only in England, but also worldwide. So it's no wonder that he is excited about this upcoming Wembley card in September, and is looking forward to this bout between Joshua and Dubois. Giving his take on who might win, Izzy thinks that AJ will not only have an upper hand in this fight, but would win by a knockout against Dubois, who though is a good fighter, tends to get hit a lot, which is something that can land you in hot water against a fighter like AJ. He said, Joshua by KO. I think Dubois is in really good form, but he gets caught too much for my liking. And you can't get caught with power like Joshua, because it is lights out. I've always said this, if Joshua catches anybody in the world, it's lights out. I still believe we're going to see the best answer in Joshua. In the end, with all this being said, it is hard to make a distinctive prediction about who will win this exciting upcoming bout. Will it be the fan favorite, heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua, or will it be the new young blood Daniel Dubois, who has shown time and time again how good of a fighter he is? So we leave it up to you to decide. Alexander Usyk has just made a shocking announcement that will raise the stakes for the fight between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. On Tuesday, he revealed on Instagram that he will be vacating the IBF Heavyweight Championship. In the post, he wrote, "The IBF belt is my present for you for the 21st of September 2024. The world loves strong. Your friend, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk." He also shared a clip of himself where he explains why he made this decision. He said, "Anthony and Daniel, listen, I know, IBF title important to you."
Hi everybody people, Anthony and Daniel, listen. I know, IBF title important to you. Tell it my present to you on September 21. Guys, слава Богу за все, слава Україні.
Alexander Usyk became ESPN's top pound-for-pound boxer after his win against Tyson Fury in Riyadh. He won that match via split decision, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion. The two fighters have agreed to a rematch later this year, but this time the four belts won't be on the line. Fury will have a chance to win the WBC, WBA, and WBO titles, but not the IBF title. The IBC title will now be on the line when Anthony Joshua fights Daniel Dubois on September 21st in Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, had previously insisted that Usyk should vacate the title. While speaking with TalkSport Boxing, he said, "Usyk needs to be honest enough, and we need him to be honest to say, I'm not going to fight Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is the interim IBF world champion and the mandatory. Usyk has to fight him." Usyk was already overdue for his mandatory IBF title defense. ESPN's Mike Coppinger explained that even if Usyk didn't vacate, he was likely going to be stripped of his title by the IBF. He said Usyk's mandatory IBF title defense was overdue, and it was ruled going into his fight with Fury that the winner must face the mandatory challenger next or be stripped. With a 2-fight deal in place, Usyk's move Tuesday was expected. Eddie Hearn feels that it is unfair that the mandatory was kept waiting for so long. While he understands that it was delayed due to Usyk's fight with Fury, we should also think from the mandatory's point of view.
You can't just ignore your mandatory challenger for like 2 or 3 years. And I get the whole point of, yeah, but it's great to have an undisputed champion. But what if the shoe's on the other foot and you're this guy who's been mandatory and now he goes out and beats Dubois and like now he's told, no, actually you can't get your world title shot till the summer of 2025. It's like, it's not fair. So I get both sides of the argument, but I do expect that IBF belt to come vacant, but very unlikely for next Saturday.
Earlier this month in Riyadh, Daniel Dubois scored an 8th-round TKO victory over Filip Hrgovic to become the new mandatory challenger for the IBF title. After his win, Eddie Hearn reportedly had a meeting with Frank Warren and Turki Al-Sheikh, where he discussed a potential fight with Anthony Joshua. Hearn had said that he would only agree to the fight if the IBF title was on the line. He said, "From our point of view, if the world title is on the line against Daniel Dubois, he's the front runner. If it's not, then we'll probably fight someone else. Zhilei Zhang, Joseph Parker, I don't know. But the plan for us is to try and position ourselves or win the world heavyweight title. And if that's available against Daniel Dubois, then I think that's the right fight. But again, nothing's been decided. There won't be an announcement till the press conference on 26th of June, and then we'll go from there." The fight between Dubois and Joshua was made official at the press conference on Wednesday. The IBF president, Daryl Peoples, has also confirmed to ESPN that the heavyweight title was now officially vacant. However, he refuted rumors that Daniel Dubois has been elevated as the champion. According to him, no such ruling has been made, and the new champion will be determined during the fight. There are already plans being made that the winner of the fight between Joshua and Dubois could go on to face the winner of Usyk-Fury's rematch in a unification fight next year. Eddie Hearn has expressed his support for this idea. He said, "He's Usyk got the rematch with Fury on December 21st. I think the way that it'll line up potentially is AJ and Dubois fight for the IBF title on September 21st. Fury and Usyk fight for everything else, WBA, WBC, and WBO. And then next spring in April or May time, perhaps the winners can fight the winners again for undisputed." Some boxing fans think that if Fury wins his rematch against Usyk, we could see a trilogy between the two, as they will be tied 1-1. However, Hearn does not agree. He feels that if Joshua wins the IBF title in September, he should be next in line for the undisputed championship. Hearn said, "I don't think so, because everything we're hearing from His Excellency is AJ potentially fighting the winner of Fury and Usyk if Joshua wins in September. Let's be honest. If Fury wins and becomes undisputed, we have to make the AJ fight. We just have to. AJ wants his shot at undisputed. So either way, we've got to try and get there. He'd love to have an opportunity to get another crack at Usyk. It's 2-0. It's a difficult task, but he feels he's in a much better place now. And of course, he'd love a shot at Tyson Fury as well." Anthony Joshua has a strong record of 28 wins with 3 losses. He has held the WBF, IBF, and WBO titles on 2 separate occasions. He has defended all 3 of these titles several times, before eventually losing them in 2019 to Andy Ruiz Jr., who scored a TKO in the 7th round. 6 months later, Joshua won back the titles. However, he went on to lose them to none other than Oleksandr Usyk in September 2021. A year later, he lost to Usyk again in a rematch. Now, if Joshua wins his match against Dubois and Usyk retains, we could see these two have their 3rd clash next year for the undisputed title. An analyst at SportsGrid gave an insightful comment regarding this possible clash. He stated, "Usyk has personally shown immense interest in fighting Joshua, and in his taunts, we could interpret a sense of frustration stemming from Joshua's newly found interest in Dubois. It can also be seen as an epiphany of his Usyk confidence in his capabilities compared to Dubois. On the other hand, Daniel Dubois is also confident that he will be able to defeat Joshua. He has already faced a lot of the top heavyweights in the division, and his goal is to become the best. He calls this his era in boxing."
I've heard the next opponent will be AJ, so bring it on.
You have faced a lot of the top names in heavyweight boxing. Anthony Joshua sitting there ringside. How anxious are you to get that opportunity?
I'm just, anxious, to become the best. And, this is my era, this is my time. And I just need to keep improving and coming through these tests.
The interim IBF champion has a record of 21-2, with all his victories except one coming by knockout. He has also faced Alexander Usyk before, losing to him last August via a 9th-round knockout. Eddie Hearn praised Dubois for his recent performance in the match with Filip Hrgović. He expects the fight between Dubois and Joshua to be dangerous. He said, "It was a good win too, with all his victories, one coming by knockout." With Filip Hrgović. He expects the fight between Dubois and Joshua to be dangerous. Responding to Dubois' comments where he claims he will demolish Anthony Joshua, Hearn said, "What Dubois needs to know is that if he gets hit by right hands that he got hit by on Saturday, the fight ain't going very long." Responding to Dubois' comments where he claims he will demolish Dubois a danger, and that's what you want. Everybody's a danger, but obviously we're very confident with AJ, how he is at the moment. He takes care of business. What Dubois needs. Promoter Frank Warren is also excited for the clash between Dubois and Joshua. Two Brits fighting it out in Wembley Stadium will be a massive draw. He says that both the fighters are good punchers, but while Dubois is seen as the underdog, everybody's a danger.
Paul became a world champion tonight. I'd say probably it's Daniel Dubois who improved his lot the most, even without a title on the line, because now he's looking right down the barrel of Wembley Stadium, of the British darling, Anthony Joshua.
Going very long, but Dubois
probably as an underdog. How do you see Dubois besting Joshua in just a few months at Wembley?
If that fight comes off, and I hope it does, if it comes off, that's going to be
everybody's a danger.
Two Brits fighting for a world title, two big punchers, both of them. That would be something extra special.
Because now he's looking right down.
I don't think that bothers me, and it certainly won't bother him.
So now you might be wondering, who is the favorite to win this fight and then possibly get a shot
as
at
an
the
underdog
undisputed title next year? According to Frank, his team only chose this fight because they believe Dubois can win. He doesn't expect the fight to go the distance. He said, "When you got two quality British fighters fighting each other for such a prestigious title, you always get a classic fight. Big punchers. It won't go the distance. Somebody's gonna go. I've got my opinion on who I feel is gonna win. That's why we've done this fight. And one thing's for sure, it's going to be exciting. And it's one of them where you can genuinely say, do not blink, do not blink." Frank has been asking for this fight against Joshua for years. Why is he so confident that Dubois will win? He replied that in his last few fights, Dubois has fought better quality fighters, and Frank feels it's now his moment. He feels Dubois is one of the best finishers. And at the end of the day, this fight will be about who has the strongest heart. One of them where you can genuinely say, do not blink.
He's on a roll of 4 wins, but if you look at the last couple of fights, Anthony's fought better quality fighters.
He replied, Dubois has fought better, feels it's now his moment.
Daniel's fought better quality fighters, and I just feel it's his moment.
Boxing trainer Peter Fury, who has previously trained Tyson Fury, also made his prediction for the fight. He believes that Anthony Joshua is the favorite to emerge victorious. When speaking to Boxing Social, he said, "Very interesting one. They can both punch for sure. You'd have to go with Joshua because he has that experience, and he's got that sharpness and the speed. He's mixed at that level as well, that very high level." Peter went on to admit that Dubois has also improved a lot recently. He says that it will be dangerous for Joshua, and while he favors him due to experience, anything can happen. He said, "But Dubois has improved in his last few fights. Very much so. It's still a dangerous fight for Joshua, but you'd still have to favor Joshua in it, just for the sheer experience. But Dubois is a big puncher, and the little gloves, anything can happen." He's improved in his last. Former WBC cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew also weighed in on the fight. Bellew outlined the few areas where he feels that Dubois will struggle against Joshua. However, he also gave Dubois credit in other areas, saying that his resilience and mental fortitude could not be questioned. When asked if Anthony Joshua had a reason to worry, Bellew said, "Of course, Dubois, can punch. He can punch." Despite this, Bellew feels that Dubois is weak in his defense, and this was visible in his resilience, and he can't afford to make the same mistake against Joshua. You see them right hands he took off Filip Hrgović? He'll get away with 2 of them against Joshua, not 50. Filip Hrgović nailed him. While he respects Dubois, Bellew does not see him on the same level as Joshua. He thinks that anything Dubois can do, Joshua can do it better. He said Daniel Dubois will beat anyone outside of Fury, AJ, and Usyk. "I won't doubt him again, unless he's against them 3. AJ is a freak. AJ is the best athlete the heavyweight division has probably had. AJ is a athletic specimen. If you could put AJ as an athletic specimen, put him in a 100-meter race, lifting weights, to how far he can jump, I promise you, he will win the lot. Everything that Daniel Dubois is good at, AJ is a bit better at. And he also has a defense. To conclude, he predicts that the fight won't even go into the third round. Bellew claimed, AJ, if that fight gets made, it's over in 2 rounds. He then went on to praise Anthony Joshua and his achievements, saying that he can't be counted out. He noted that both fighters have lost to Usyk, but Fury probably did better as he won more rounds while Joshua lost 2 separate fights. However, he concludes that at this moment, Anthony Joshua is coming off 4 wins and has momentum while Fury seems to be past his peak. Boxing is all about timing, and he can see Anthony knocking out Fury.
Just think timing-wise, Anthony Joshua will probably knock out Tyson Fury.
Joshua lost
just
2 separate...
because of the timing and where they are with the career.
He concludes
Anthony
that
Joshua
at this
is full
moment,
of confidence. He would go in that fight believing in himself, thinking, if I lose this, it's game over. And he knows Tyson Fury's just been beat, struggling a little bit, past his best, on the slide, whatever you want to say. But what a great fight. It's got to be a 50-50 fight with the bookies. Hard to separate, but I think the smart money would be on a close win, maybe even a knockout win for Anthony Joshua.
Both Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua could be near the end of their careers, and both need to make a statement before they leave. For Fury, his goal will be to get his win back against Alexander Usyk, so he can cement his legacy as one of the best boxers. Fury has reacted to rumors about his retirement by saying that he isn't going anywhere. After his fight with Usyk, he wants to have at least 1 match with Anthony Joshua. He also claims he will fight Ngannou again.
Keep hearing talk of people saying that I should retire or I'm going to retire soon or whatever. I ain't retiring anywhere. I've got 2 fights with Usyk for the Undisputed, twice. Then I'm going to fight AJ at least once, maybe twice, if there's a rematch, if he wants one, after the first battering of him. And then I'm going to fight Ngannou again. And that's just a start. So there's 5 little fights for you to whet your appetite with. I ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. 35-year-old in the prime of my life, and I'm ready to smash.
As for Anthony Joshua, he will want another world title win before he retires, and possibly even the Undisputed Championship next year. Eddie Hearn was asked how long he thinks Joshua has left. He said, I think maybe the end of 2026. If he wins in September and Anthony Joshua or even the Undisputed champ, then what else do you do? It could even be next year, who knows? He'll want to continue while he's performing, and right now he's the best ever. He wants legacy, greatness. If you asked him, he'd also want to have good performances. During the press conference for the match, for Anthony Joshua was asked about being older and now having to fight younger boxers like Dubois. He replied that he still feels fresh. He doesn't drink or smoke. He's still in peak condition, so he doesn't believe age will make any difference in this match.
Well, being an old man.
He'd also want to have good performance.
I feel fresh. I feel fresh, says my shoulders clicking. Nah, I feel good, I feel good. Like, no, I don't drink, don't smoke. Have a little turn up now and again, but I still don't drink, don't smoke. And that's about it. That's my only vice, just socializing. So I feel good. Thank God I didn't get caught up in no antics outside of boxing. I use boxing as a path to keep me on the straight and narrow. I didn't use it as a path to kind of take me off it. So, yeah, young fighters coming up, look after your bodies, look after your minds. It will pay dividends in the long run. So for this fight here with Daniel, that's about it. That's my only vice. It don't matter if I was 35 and he was, thank God I didn't 15, get caught up in 20, 25. It don't matter. It's just a fight and I'm path to keep condition. I feel good. I feel strong. So yeah, age is just a number.
That's it for today's video. Who do you think will win the fight between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois? Do you think the winner should get a shot at the Undisputed Championship? Let us know in the comments. If you like our channel, make sure to check out some of the other videos on the screen right now.